All right, welcome to our viewers in the United States and all around the world. This is New Day. This morning, President Trump walking a fine line, or maybe trotting on that fine line, between bravado and bizarro. The New York Times reports this morning some former Trump administration officials in recent days said they were increasingly worried about the president's behavior, suggesting it stems from rising pressure on Mr. Trump as the economy seems more worrisome and next year's election approaches. And this all does come as there are new troubling signs for the U.S. economy. The Labor Department reports 500,000 fewer job gains than previously reported, and the largest downward revision in a decade. The bond yield curve briefly inverted again amid recession fears, and the budget deficit is on path to top $1 trillion.
So all of this as the president's rhetoric reaches new, even weirder limits. He referred to himself as the chosen one to take on China on trade. He also praised a conspiracy theorist who called him the King of Israel. And he again questioned the loyalty of Jews who vote for Democrats. He also again criticized Denmark, calling the female prime minister nasty for refusing to sell Greenland. So what is behind this scattershot approach from the president? Joining us now is Ana Navarro, CNN political commentator, Jeffrey Toobin, CNN legal analyst, and Ben Howe, columnist and author of The Immoral Majority: Why Evangelicals Choose Political Power Over Christian Values. Great to have all of you. Anna, listen, I mean, we had a debate earlier in the program about whether or not the president at this point is just messing with everyone. He's calling himself the chosen one. He's suggesting he's the Messiah. He seems to be enjoying this moment of rhetorical madness, or Mr. Toad's wild ride, or do you see something else happening here?
Is it mutually exclusive? Can he be a raving mad narcissist with a messianic complex and at the same time be trying to distract us from the skittish economy, from the fact that he triggered a white supremacist to go hunt down Latinos like if they were animals, from the fact that he capitulated to the NRA and is owned by the NRA after saying he was going to go for background checks? So could it be both? But look, it's alarming, it's worrying, and you can save the tweets, folks, telling me that I'm not a mental health professional and shouldn't be talking about this, because my 4-pound micropoodle Cha-Cha can look at this and say it is insane. It is beyond not being normal. Right now, it is a level of instability. I just came back from 17 days abroad. We are the laughingstock internationally. You can't go anywhere without people saying, what is wrong with Trump? What is wrong with America? Have Americans lost their mind that they have this precedent? I mean, this fight with Denmark, an ally, over buying Greenland, this is insane. El presidente de los Estados Unidos está loco. President loco.
Even your poodle understood that.
Why can't Anna give a straight answer? Why can't she just say what she means?
She
Go ahead. Can I just say, of course I agree with every word Anna said, but the other point is, where is the Republic?
Now say it in Spanish.
No, I'm sorry, I know my limits. Where is the Republican Party? Where is anyone in that party who can say that the emperor has no clothes and the emperor is acting like a lunatic? I mean, this is so obvious. This is so wrong. And the narcissism and the constant lying, it's obvious to anyone. And the fact that the Republican Party has no one with the courage to speak up about this is a shame on this party, and it will haunt that party.
You mean in Congress, because there are Republicans who are threatening to challenge the president, who are challenging
like Joe Walsh.
Joe Walsh, who will be on in just a few minutes, so careful what you say.
But I mean, these are not major figures in the party.
Can I ask this a different way, Ben Howe? Let's play the sound here, because I think it's important, especially I want your take on this, where the president looked to the skies and called himself the chosen one.
Somebody said it's Trump's trade war. This isn't my trade war. This is a trade war that should have taken place a long time ago by a lot of other presidents. Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
I am the chosen one, he said, Ben. And I want you to weigh in on this conversation overall, but as someone who just wrote a book on this, The Immoral Majority, how would the right or Christian conservatives or the Republican Party in general, conservative talk radio, have reacted if President Obama had looked to the skies and said, I am the chosen one?
That's a good question, because the chosen one was a phrase that a lot of people actually used as a joke. People on the right would say that about Obama. They would say, oh, you think he's the chosen one, and that was the insult. I don't remember Obama ever saying it. Trump goes ahead and says it. What's interesting is he's always talked this way. I mean, at the convention in 2016, he said that he was the only one who could disrupt the establishment. He said, I'm the only one who can fix it in regards to the economy. So he's always talked this way. I think it's also worth noting that there are plenty of evangelicals who are surrounding this guy in the Evangelical Advisory Board. And they're kind of in his ear at all times saying, don't worry about the stuff that, normal Christians would have to worry about. You've got a job to do. Yeah, you don't necessarily represent, you've got Robert Jeffress, who said that he doesn't want a president that represents the kind of values that Jesus spoke about in the Sermon on the Mount. He wants kind of the opposite of that. We should run from a candidate that would be more like that. We should run from a president that would be more like that. So when you have these guys in your ear every day praying over you and exempting you, then it's not that surprising that he would think that way. I also think, for most people, if they jokingly said, I'm the chosen one, it could be taken as a joke. But contextually speaking, he had basically just called himself the king of the Jews. Well, the king of Israel. But, he was happy to quote all of that and about himself. So contextually, given everything he's said in the past, from all the way back in 2016 until today, he believes it. He believes he is the chosen one.
Can I just add one point to that? There are never any jokes with President Trump. When he says something and then, his enablers come and say it's a joke, it's not a joke. When he said during the campaign, Russia, if you're looking for, find Hillary's emails, he meant find Hillary's emails. When he said the chosen one, he meant the chosen one. These are not jokes. This is what he believes.
Well, look, maybe he was referring to being chosen by Putin. That would be a hell of a lot more accurate than looking up at the sky and, making a reference to God. And you know the answer of what evangelicals and religious people would be doing if Obama had looked up at the sky and called himself the chosen one. They'd be thumping their Bibles, they'd be clutching their pearls, and they would be demanding an apology from Obama for making a comparison to God. And here we have a guy who is a pathological liar, who is a cheater, who embodies every value that is antithesis to what evangelicals and religious people hold dear, calling himself the chosen one, and everybody just kind of shrugs their shoulders and says it's Trump being Trump. Because the brilliance of what Trump did in 2018 was he instilled fear and terror into every Republican running for office. Because if he opposes you and goes after you, you're going to lose your primary. And so now he's got them cowering in silent complicity.
Ben?
It's also worth pointing out that, in terms of narcissism, he's got the narcissist dream life. He's spent his whole life a billionaire with getting a lot of attention and thinking he's the center of the universe, essentially. And then he became the president and kind of became the center of the universe. So from his point of view, everything is destined in a way. And so I put a lot of blame on the people around him. I mean, these people feed into that ego and assure him that all of those delusions of grandeur he's had all his life were obviously true, because look where he is. So, I put a lot on them. I don't expect him to change. But if there's supposed to be a conservative movement or a Republican Party that survives past Donald Trump, maybe don't just feed the narcissist ego for the next 2 years.
Well, I mean, and you don't have to be